most people hear the word monitoring, this is what they think about. Especially if you're like me and you've watched a lot of hospital TV shows. But in this room, when we hear the word monitoring, we think KPIs, predicted versus actual, model drift. But is it really that different? Monitoring at its core is keeping a finger on the pulse of your business, identifying issues before they become critical. So in today's session, Moran and I will talk about how the concept of monitoring moved from concept to customer and how we made it into a feature that all you can put to work. But before, I didn't introduce myself in the beginning, so my name is Noga Aloni. I'm a product director at Earnix. Been here for a while, 8 years. And I have started my career in strategy, but once I fell for product, I've never looked back. And hi, Moran.
Hey, I'm Moran Rada. I've been in fintech for quite a while, making products for business users. And you know, it's kind of funny because I started out as a journalist before I realized I like building things.
So, Moran, before we dive into the whole way of how monitoring came to life, I'm sure everybody here kind of wants to skip to the end and see it first.
Sure, but I want the clicker.
There you go.
Thank you. Well, before I start, I'll give you some context. When we talk about the analytical workflow, we usually focus on data and modeling and how they drive pricing and better pricing and underwriting decisions, as we just saw. But here's the real question. When is the right time to reassess those decisions?
Wait, Moran, don't we already have a few monitoring capabilities in PriceIt?
That's true, but today I like to take a different angle. Last year, we talked about the Pricing Accelerator workspace, which gives business managers and pricing committees the tools to analysis and simulate. Now, I'd like to show how we can add the missing piece, monitoring and control. So business managers can truly keep up on results and adjust when it matters most. But first, let's see how the new solution fits into the big picture. Pricing strategy lifecycle starts with the current strategy in the market. Today, I'll walk you through the monitoring this strategy, simulating new strategies, and then deploying the new strategies. So let's start with the monitoring demo. I think it's the first time we are demoing it.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe. Well, all the data you will see here is something that I uploaded earlier to PriceIt. I prepared two pricing versions, one with the predicted result, and one with the actual outcomes, including a conversion column. With that in place, we can move on to the configuration. Here you see the reference data we used when creating the pricing version. Now I select the new data, the actual results after deployment. The system also automatically provides predefined KPIs, and you can add custom ones if needed. Once the configuration is done, we can move on to the results section. This is the results section. It includes three main tabs: results overview, KPI analysis, and input analysis. On the overview results, you can see that all KPIs are ordered by their prediction accuracy. The ones where the gap is the largest between predicted and actual results, you'll see them on top, guiding us that they are the most something that we need to improve. And all the KPIs are ordered by their prediction accuracy. And now we can continue. So you can also compare the actual outcomes with what your model predicted to see if it was accurate or if reality looks very different. On the KPI analysis tab, you can explore how results differ across groups, such as region or driver age. It gives you another lens to understand performance. Within the KPI analysis tab, we also have model analysis. It shows you where your prediction were accurate or less accurate. It highlights the features with the biggest gap, guiding us to refine our model further. Here's one example. The analysis reveals that customers are more sensitive to our pricing compared to competitors than expected. This points us directly into the assumptions we need to refine. So, this was just a short glimpse of our monitoring tool. You can first go to our booth, and second, at the end of this session, we will share a QR code. You can scan it to request the full demo once the product goes live. So, after reviewing the results, we realize that our customers are highly price sensitive. To address that, we ask our modeling team to prepare a new model based on those insights. And now I want to test it. So I'll go and do simulations. This is Pricing Accelerator. In Pricing Accelerator, I go to the simulation section and set the new pricing version as my base case for the what-if scenarios. Here I can quickly change the model or any core parameter. I decide to change the core parameter, which is origination demand, and to select the model that the team prepared for me with competitor prices. And with just a few clicks, I can compare the scenario's KPIs with my base case. So that's how I understand the potential impact of this strategy. Once I'm satisfied with the results, I can decide to save it as a pricing version directly into Priceit, and from there, deploy to the market. This way, we close the loop, starting by executing the pricing strategy in the market, monitoring the results, simulating new strategies, and then, finally, deploying a new strategy back to the market. As you can see, with this workflow, you can do three main things. First, view. Get real-time visibility into your business results, so issues don't surprise you. Second, understand. Uncover the why behind every trend. Spot risks early instead of realizing too late. And third, act. Simulate what-if scenarios and choose the right path forward without unnecessary complexity. And you know what? And it's all built for collaboration. So your data scientists and business managers can work together, stay aligned, and move proactively.
Wow, seeing it in action really kind of brings me back in time to where it all began. When we just started to, the ideation phase. Can we rewind for a second and go back a little bit? So when we just started to talk with customers, before this feature even, was developed, we've been hearing a lot of challenges around monitoring. Some of them talked about, the need to view. I need better visibility of my strategies. Is the strategy that is currently deployed actually doing what it should? Is it time to change it? They also talked about being able to understand, okay, let's assume that my strategy is not doing as well as it should. Why? What is the root cause? And once I understand all that, how can I actually act upon it? How can I create and propose different pricing strategies and underwriting strategies to actually solve the problem? And all of this, in addition to all of this, a lot of them talked about okay, these are a few steps in the flow, but mostly different teams are doing different steps. And we need to enable those different teams to do these actions and collaborate with each other, but not interfere with each other's work. So we've heard the pain points, and we saw that there is a clear need. So we started to dream big. Moran, what would your dream solution look like?
Well, when we started, we had plenty of things that we wanted to develop. Things like automatic assistant, smart alerts, what-if agent, proactive insight, even a decision assistant. But instead of waiting to build everything, we ask ourselves, what's the faster way to deliver real value to our customers? That's why we are getting the core into their hands so they can start using it, and their feedback can shape our way continue. Noga, maybe you can tell us how the prioritization process really works in practice. I think people would like to hear it.
Well, they would probably not be surprised to hear that prioritization is always the hardest part. So, as you said, we want to give our customers the best solution in the world, but we also want to deliver value fast. So how do you prioritize? How do you decide? So before we started working, we actually stopped first. We stopped and to think. And we had to talk a lot about the different dilemmas that we had. I'll give you an example of some of these dilemmas. So first of all, addressing the needs of different roles. We talked about it before that everybody wants to access the monitoring tools and everybody needs insight, but does everybody need to have the same picture? Does everybody need to have the same workflow? And maybe even the other way around. Maybe there are teams that I want to restrict from doing certain actions. So how do I get to that point where, as I said before, they can collaborate but not interfere with each other? Second is the integration. Obviously, if you want to be accurate in your monitoring, you want everything to be integrated, the data, the modeling, in order to get good decisions. So you want everything in Pricing to be integrated into this monitoring tool. But maybe that will hurt the roles and permissions from before. And other dilemmas that we have is, we have the always-on concept versus on request. Does the monitoring have to monitoring all the time? That brings out questions as performance, computing power, or is it okay if it's only on request or on a daily basis or on a weekly basis? Do we need it to be fully flexible? Do we want people to actually define the KPIs that they want to see each and every time? Or maybe it needs to be predefined. So honestly, there were many more questions. On top of all that, obviously, whatever we do and whatever question we solve, the user experience needs to be intuitive. We want people to be able to use the monitoring tool easily. And speed to value. We need to get to the market and to your hands fast. So since speed to value is such a top priority, we couldn't really stop and brainstorm for long, and we really had to start working. So first step, concept. Okay, what are the must-haves? Okay, we've done all this brainstorm, but where can we start? So we decided, obviously, we cannot compromise on data integration, model integration. This is a must-have. But maybe we can start with on-request modeling. Is that okay? Yes. So we started out with the concept, and we started with the design and everything. And once we had something, we immediately wanted to get feedback. One of the main priorities for us, except for speed to value, is also a very quick feedback loop. Because the fastest I get it to the hands of customers and internal teams, the fastest I can tell if I'm going in the right direction. So usually we would start with our internal teams, professional services, data science. Eyal, for example, is a top customer of ours. And we started to get feedback and kind of readjust the concept. And once we felt we're ready, we thought about, okay, let's get the solution to customers. In this case, we chose our labs platform that enabled us to really demo the solution really quickly and also let some of our customers, maybe some of you are sitting in this room, to actually try it out. And we started to get feedback. And I remember, for example, one of the recurring feedback was, well, the first version had a first screen when you just enter the monitoring world that had everything. All of the details, the different KPIs, the root cause analysis, why is there model drift, why is there a data drift, everything was there because we thought our customers would want to know. And actually the feedback was, can you just give us a snapshot of the important things first? And then if we want to, we can drill down. So we actually changed the flow based on that feedback. Next step, after we get the feedback, we productize the tool. So we get it into an existing flow, as you've seen in the product. And early access program. Once the product is there, it's mature enough, we announce an early access program. We select a few customers that are interested to actually use the product. We have periodical feedback meetings. And this is actually, it's not special for the monitoring tool. This is actually what we do with all of the new products that we develop. So I thought it would be interesting for you to see where are these points of impact where you can actually impact the way that the product is built and make sure that it's built for your needs. But actually, this is not the end, because even after that, there is an ongoing feedback loop, and there are ongoing conversations between us and yourselves in order to make sure that we are on the right track. But this is not the end. Moran, where are you taking us next?
Remember earlier we talked about the dream vision?
Yes.
So get this. What if the system could do more than just showing us results and actually tell us the story behind them? Highlights, insights automatically, even before we think to ask. Well, on the results screen, notice this small icon here in the bottom. When we click on it, you will see our AI Insight Agent, which give us proactive insights generated by the LLM.
So let's just sum this up. What did we do today? So Moran and I showed you a complete monitoring simulation flow that is based on a need that we heard from our customers. We told you how you can actually impact the way that we design and create our products and how you can impact our roadmap. And we invite you to act. Come talk to us. Come see the actual demo in the demo booth. And join one of our trials, either the Labs hands-on trial or the early access program. And if anyone in the room, or after you tell your friends about it, want to be a part of our early access program, please scan this QR code. And once we're ready to go, we will contact you to be an early bird. I think that's it. Thank you.